Why do you say my pronouns are she and not just she? Imagine if my bio just said name, 26, he. The slash format makes it easy to identify that what you're looking at are pronouns, not, for example, something that got cut off or a typo. Another thing to keep in mind is that she and he are audibly very similar and may not be distinct if you're identifying them verbally. So in spoken conversation, he him is audibly distinct from she her to not be confused. Because of this convention, it gets translated into written media where folks identify he him or she her in signatures, buttons, etc. As to your second question, there are absolutely folks who use she they or he they. You also see they she or they he. This allows someone to define preference with the first pronoun being preferred. This can also highlight the fluid nature of gender. When I started seeing them 20 years ago, it was always neo-pronouns like Caesarism, and it used all three to show you how to use it properly with English grammar. So the convention stuck and just got shortened to 2 rather than 3 cases. It's just the name of the set. It's the same as do you know your ABCs? Why not say do you know your As? Or do you know your ABDEFs? We don't use the other two because those aren't the name of the alphabet. When someone says they use share, or haim, or thatham, they aren't listing all of the pronouns they use, they are telling you the name of the set that they use. As a man who works from home at a company that doesn't use cameras, who has a typically female name, pronouns are a huge help, and avoid a lot of emails and calls that include mom. Another reason is some people put shethi, meaning they don't mind being referred as she, her, they, or them. Think about it like that. If you use common pronouns, people usually know how to use the grammatical forms. But people also use neopronouns, which are less common, and adding additional forms helps people to use them correctly. So adding the second form with pronouns like he, she, and they is also an act of solidarity with those who use other pronouns, as it just normalizes providing this information. Much like adding pronouns at all can be an act of solidarity. People sometimes use a combination of pronouns like shethi, but usually that means that people are okay with either pronoun, not that the pronoun has to be switched around all the time or in specific grammatical forms, though sometimes people like the switch, but they then rarely expect it from others. Because him, she, but I could never be her. Using they, them as pronouns in the course of conversation will always be right, because we place the number agreement question as less important than the gender-neutral concern. When you have to be specific, then use their preferred pronouns, but see what I did there. There works in all general cases I can think of. Just in case somebody prefers she, him, theirs. It's an order of preferences. The first pronoun is your main preference, and the second pronoun is the other that you are okay with accepting. Saying share or ha him is just saying you're okay with that gender pronoun. Some people prefer they or they him, because they prefer they first but will accept the gender pronoun as well. Some people prefer shetham or hetham, because they prefer their gender pronoun, but are okay with them, usually done as a sign of solidarity. My guess is that it avoids uncertainty. If it was common to just use he or she in a profile bio, it'd be so easy to make mistakes due to a simple typo. If you add the him, her, then even if you make a she typo, it will still be clear. There are some people who prefer shetham or thayer. It's rare and usually people testing the waters for their transition to see how it feels. That said, it's mostly just linguistically clearer to denote both. It's easier for everyone to a pinch of extra effort to clarify that they are just talking about pronouns. Hi, im snail. Share is a lot more clear on a pen or even said out loud than hi, im snail, she, my name is not snail. That's just an example lol. And when people say like shethi for pronouns, they usually don't mean that you should phrase sentences like she has purple hair. Why are they always changing their hair color? In the respect of using shethi where appropriate. But rather they are saying you can use share or thatham pronouns for me, so saying her hair is pink or their hair is pink would both be correct and respectful. But saying his hair is pink would not. You're not wrong. It's because it can also be used to signify you prefer more than one share, means that person strictly wants to be referred to she, her, nothing else. Some may put shethi, that means they are okay with share or thatham. Some people use more than one pronoun like hathi. If it says ha him, then you know it's just one. People have addressed most of the reason, so I'll just throw out a minor one. Recently I've been seeing non-standard pairs. The one that leaps to mind is one of my son's teachers uses shethi. Apparently this is a thing now, so by having the you allow for less ambiguity in regards to the full pairing. The biggest reason is, I think, because some people use multiple pronouns and some do not. So, one person's profile might say she they, denoting that they identify with, or in other words you can use she her or they them to refer to that person. If another profile says just he him or just they them, those people would use only he him pronouns, or only they them pronouns respectively. On a side note, different pronouns have different contexts. I'm just gonna use the example of share below. She is usually personal, and used when referring to the person themselves, i.e., she is very beautiful, she likes to swim. Hers is usually possessive, and used when referring to something that belongs to someone, i.e., that is her apple. Her car is really cool. While these words can be used to make sentences that mean the same thing, they have a slightly different context. You could say she has long eyelashes, or her eyelashes are very long, and while both sentences mean the same thing, the subject of the first sentence is the person, and the subject of the second sentence is the object eyelashes. Some people use multiple pronouns, and some only use one, so some people will list as share, someone else might list as she, they, or he, her, etc.